you're so new age, you're like my new craze. Let's get together, maybe we can start a new phase. The smoke's got the club all hazy, spotlights don't do justice, baby. Why don't you come over here? You got me saying, hey, I'm tired of using technology. Why don't you sit down on top of me? Hey, I'm tired of using technology. I need you right in front of me. She won't sit, she won't sit, she won't sit, so gotta give it to her. She won't sit, she won't sit, she won't sit, so gotta give it to her. You got me a foot down, let me tell you this. You got me a foot down, you got me a foot down, let me tell you this. You got me a foot down.
Hey yo, hey yo.
Hello, ladies. How are you? I'm actually almost just going to go right into the show because there's so much. I had to edit some of the videos and bring them down for what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm like ready to go to make it happen. So thank you everybody for joining us on your Wednesday night midweek laughter. And before we get into these stories, because they are a lot, we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves in alphabetical order.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday evening to you. My name is Garcia. I am part of the Not Your Typical Girl Talk team.
Hey.
Welcome. Thank you to Radio Region, syndicated through iHeartRadio, for allowing us this platform to share the goodness with you. Yes, we are on internet radio every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on internet radio. So check us out on there. Telly, what is up, my friend?
Ooh, that's the key word. What is up? There's too much. It's like raining foolishness. Left, right, center, wherever you turn, there's foolishness all over the internet. Hey y'all, it's your girl Telly. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day, Lord Jesus Day. Shiva girl, tell them who you is. Because there's so much. There's too much, girl.
I hear you. I am Shiva. They call me Shiva. I am the final female member of the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. And my friend who's fixed his face a little bit this week will introduce
Probably 3 times, and it's my normal face. And thank you for joining us. And let's go and get to it. Get to the foolishness.
the foolishness. So I'm all for women getting what they want in a relationship. I say, girl, if you can get it, go ahead and get it. However, when you go for what you want, but then I'm just actually going to read this one because this was actually funny to me when I read it. So this lady puts out, this lady at work told me she left her first husband because he didn't pay 100% of the bills. He wanted a 70-30 split. Now she's working 2 jobs. I guess she won't settle for less.
You see how people idiot? She couldn't come up with 30%? Now she's working 2 jobs.
Wait, hold on. This is why parents make sure that your children actually pass math, arithmetic. Make sure they know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Because there's obviously a lack of education here.
All he was asking for was 30%. That's all. Just 30%.
30% is basically the water bill.
That's it. Some groceries, maybe.
A few groceries.
And let's assume, because remember, we did the math. I'm like, let's assume they were paying $3,000 a month in bills.
Right.
Let's go $4,000 a month in bills, right? 30% is $1,200. 4 times 3, $1,200, which means he's paying $2,800. So $1,200. $1,200 a month. $1,200. I'm just going to repeat that.
A part-time job could cover those bills.
That's so sad.
And now she's working 2 jobs because she didn't want to split the bill. Listen, I'm not a fan of splitting bills. I get that. But if it meant a detriment to my life, if I didn't, if Rob said, babe, you know what? I think whatever's going on, we've got some things that are going on, and now I need you to pay, 20%, like the light bill and the whatever.
Right.
I'm like, cool. Let's budget it out, make sure it works. I'm not gonna, no, I'm not gonna pay this, blah blah. I might as well just be on my own because I'll be on the streets. The streets. Because that's basically why she's working jobs, because she'll be on the streets.
Yeah, it's very hard right now with inflation to be living on your own, period. We have a lot of people that are, you know, living with their folks, people that are living with their...
Like 6 different roommates.
Yeah, their roommates, living with people, like 6 other people.
Yeah.
Like, come on, stop it. Like, we need to stop this weird narrative where it's like, well, I don't see why I have to do anything. And, you know, it's kind of like women that love to, you know, buy hair and beauty products, i.e. myself. And if your guy looks at you and says, darling, can you please maybe budget that out in your own way, in your own personal budget? Because I'm taking care of this, that, and the other, and I'd be like, that's cool. I can take care of my clothes and my hair. I'll figure that out. Because you are paying the large bills that are detrimental to our life. Like, if you don't pay the bill, we're out on the street.
No, well, not according to this lady. This lady just wants the lifestyle and not pay 1 red cent. But now she's got not 1, but 2 jobs.
Right, and the stress level.
And stress.
And so we will move on. We'll move on from her. We'll move on from the waste woman. Ladies, listen. If you don't want to split the bills, then find you someone who doesn't want you to split the bills. But don't go into a relationship with a man who says he wants you to split some bills. Get all high and mighty on him just to kind of be out here in these harsh streets and have to pay all the bills. Robert, Robbie 3 times.
It says she left her first husband, not a boyfriend. He was a husband.
He's a husband.
Whole husband.
Look, this is what I need you to do. And she was like, I'm out. First husband. So that implies there's probably a second husband. Now she's working 2 jobs. So not only is she working 2 jobs, but it sounds like she got a husband too. So
good luck to them.
And maybe she's paying the 100%.
Good luck to them.
he cute though.
Good luck to them. Speaking of husbands, this is making the social media rounds. Ladies, if you were going on vacation with your husband, would you expect to be sitting beside him?
Yes.
Most women would say yes. Because it's your husband.
Your husband, right? Because Rob and I we're traveling. I expect that the seat beside me will be...
It should be Rob.
Right.
Right?
It
That's
should be.
how it's supposed to be. Well,
that's how it's supposed to be.
Particular woman's case, that's not how it works in her marriage. Husband pays for him and his friend to sit in first class, but paid for his wife to sit in economy.
Hold on. Spiritual world.
Yes.
You see the low-key shade? Look at the picture they chose for this.
It wasn't even low-key shade. It was very high-key shade. This is very, very, very
right?
shade. There was no question of what they were trying to imply. But I'm going to read this for you. I'm going to scroll while I do it so it'll be on the screen. So the first part, she wrote, my husband and I haven't been on a trip out of the country for years, while he goes every year with his best friend. His reasons for going with him is because they both go to attend sporting events. This year, my husband told me I could go with him and his friend since they were visiting a new destination. He paid for my ticket and everything else since I'm a stay-at-home mom and have no job. The kids were left with my mom. However, when I found out that he had booked first class for himself and his friend while I got economy, I just couldn't hold my tongue. She goes on. I confronted him about it and he at first refused to discuss, then when the argument got heated, he yelled, I paid for your ticket. Isn't that enough? Then kept on about how I should stop acting like I was royalty and that if I come to think about it, even economy is fine for me since I technically don't work anyway. I cried because of what he said, but decided to just not go altogether. He changed his tone and started begging me just to go with what he planned, but I declined. I went to pick the kids from my mom's house and he came back 3 hours later, huffing and puffing about what happened. And this is where it gets even better, ladies and Rob. His friend sent me a text calling me
Not the friend.
and said this was the reason why he didn't want my husband to take me with them, and I just proved his point. I did not respond. Give me a moment. I did not respond, but I blocked him since he's gotten increasingly rude over the past few months. My husband said, I keep crying about being excluded, and this is what happens when he finally decides to include me.
I have a question.
Ooh. Yeah, go ahead.
Does the friend have a job?
One can only assume so.
Because the man told her she's not worthy of being in first class because she doesn't have a job. Then why are you paying for your friend's ticket? Does your friend not have a job?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. This man is her husband's boyfriend.
I'm not just plain out saying it, but
No, I'll plain out say that's the man's boyfriend. She doesn't realize she's dating a man he's gay. He's in a relationship with his best friend. Who's gonna tell her?
Tell her, girl.
I love Rob's response. Like, why is she going on? She doesn't know what's going on. The gay man went up to her as if he wanted to like, you're not worthy of da 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 da. It's like, wait a minute, dude. Why are you mad? He's my husband. Why are you?
Go ahead, Rob, because I want to hear Rob, because we had a conversation about it this morning. He didn't even know we were going to talk about this, and I was like, we're going to talk about this. I'd love to hear this is making the rounds on social media. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
I try to be somewhat couth with this, but basically his mistress getting spicy. Like, yo, they said they do every year, this man buys this other man a first class ticket and they take a trip overseas. I got some 20, 30-year-old friends. Ain't none of them niggas ever bought me a ticket talking about let's go to Bali. I'm assuming there's something going on there. Like, not only am I assuming that most of the world with internet, this story is touching. I mean, there are monks in the Himalayas that are reading this story like,
who gonna tell her?
Who's gonna tell her? How come everyone else sees it except her?
His reaction to her was about appropriate for someone who clearly wants a different lifestyle. But then he kind of walked it back because he's like, oh, hold up. When she said, I'm not going, because he's like, oh, I really done pissed her off now, I guess. But
if
he got comfortable with his boyfriend.
Here's my thing. If he can afford first class, something tells me he's in a very high position. And he's got to protect his reputation, because coming out and his best friend really being his man ain't it for his reputation. He is his beard and all. And listen, I'm not always one to go with the gay thing. Like, there was somebody that Robert was listening to this morning, and I didn't like his commentary because he's like, women always want to go with the gay thing. I get that, but this one in particular,
this one is gay.
This is not a bros
are there.
before
Yeah,
hoes.
this man he's gay, and his best friend is his boyfriend.
This is not bros before hoes. In any time you book a first class ticket that you clearly do all the time, and go on a trip with your best friend, and you were gonna put your wife the money of your tree picking them. Tree. She said about tree picking. In Coach.
Yeah, because listen, if these guys were, oh, go ahead, Rob.
I'm like, even the Pope saw this. He was like, I hope they're not Catholic.
Robert.
The Pope saw it. This little Pope
On his
mobile.
phone, bro.
He saw it.
Spiritual world too.
Listen. I don't even. We don't have no. Go, Car. Let Car have the final word with this, because I'm done.
I was just gonna say, what most men would have done is they would have said, okay, Rick, let's say the guy's name is Rick, his friend. Rick, you're gonna sit in Coach, because my wife is coming this time.
No,
I have her have a bit of the experience, you know, that we always have. So do you mind? Most men that are his friends will be like, yeah, bro, that's all right, that's cool. I'll see if I can catch any chicks in
or the friend, he can buy his own first
you know what I
class
mean?
ticket.
Or he buys his own first, because I don't understand how we're out here buying friends tickets
First
that are
class
like
ticket?
Toronto to LA for Air Canada is like $3,000 coach.
That's pricey.
So
That's
how
coach.
much was the business class?
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Sheba. I'm sure this guy has a very high-paying, prominent job, and he's trying to hide his lifestyle for some reason.
I do actually have one. It's a question and a comment at the same time. If his friend was sitting with him in first class, I wonder what the hotel arrangements were. Was his wife?
Oh, girl, they're in the same room. They're in the same room.
Did they have a?
And he has her and some hut down by the beach. Down by the beach, because she still can't get a clue. She still thinks, oh, we're in. Go ahead, girl. You know what? Women, ooh, be smart.
Learn to decipher.
Come on now.
Discern women.
The headline said it all, but when we read the rest of the story, I was like, girl, I feel sorry for you because
She's acting stupid.
Yeah, there's a lot. Speaking of stupid, next person here, her father is rolling over in his grave over what has happened. And
Girl.
About if you do not know, Tiana Wallace, Biggie's daughter, and I'm about to show you why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but caution is involved in this clip.
No.
That's him right there.
Did you not see him?
No, I never seen him.
Oh.
I seen him.
So for those on the radio, it shows Tiana Wallace, who is Biggie's daughter, fiance, boyfriend, baby daddy, whomever it is, in a huge truck being questioned by the police. And in the article that I read, they basically were asking him to get out of the car because he had like a suspended driver's license or something to the effect. And instead of doing that, he decided to take the big van and mow through the traffic where a woman and her 2-year-old child hit the child. The child, as you saw, was in the ground. And she decided, I am going to stand by my man. So I'm going to put up my house for his $1.5 million bond. Robert, as a father of a young girl, how would you feel if your daughter decided she was going to put up your hard-earned money for her witless boyfriend?
I feel like similar to Biggie, I'd have to be dead for something like this to happen.
Facts.
Girl, listen, I saw this, and you know what? It sort of broke my heart a bit. You know, when you look at kids that are, you know, that have a legacy, you know, like say, yeah, Biggie or Michael Jackson's kids or, you know, anything like that, you're like, wow, your parent really went through it. And the fact that they passed and they were able to leave you some money, leave you a brand or a legacy that you can continue on with, I think that it should be, she should be protecting the Notorious B.I.G. brand the way how a mom protects her kids. Like, that's how close it should be to her heart. I know that this money that bought this house is not from her own work. This is money from those royalties, from the record label. Like, this is residual income. And now she's going to take that to save her baby father that doesn't want to be saved, because no one told him to drive into these people.
No.
He's obviously, I'm sorry, but he's a hoodlum.
He's a waste youth.
A kid?
They have a kid. She had a baby earlier this year because she announced back in late fall of 2021. Let me just tell you, he is charged with 17 counts of first-degree assault, reckless endangerment, endangering the welfare of a child, and other charges. If convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison. Now, let me also add, after he done run over the people, it took him 6 days to surrender. So he surrendered after 6 days, clearly, because she got him a lawyer and did all of those things. Girl, you put up your $1.5 million home. What incentive does he have to not just run again?
Facing natural life, basically. Here's my thing. Just doing a little bit of courthouse mathematics. I'm like, even if he had like 10 kilos in the car, he was better off getting pulled over and arrested for that.
He was.
Than he was
Yes.
for what he did after the fact.
Facts.
Yeah, because I
Pure
think the
facts.
drug thing, it would maybe be 8 years, maybe. And then even there, if
What
he's a good guy and good behavior and
charges was he worried about that made him do that?
Run over a 2-year-old. He is a father himself. And as a mother, she's now a mother. I get that that's the man you've had your baby with, but you're still a mother.
however.
You're
The man's
still,
almost a
you're still
murderer. He ran over that kid like it was nobody's business. He could care less. It could have been his own picnic.
Yeah, it was reckless.
He only saw one thing. I had to
Go.
get the hell out of here. Who's ever in my way, I'm going through. But you know what the saddest part is too? Because we all grew up in the Biggie era. And what's really sad is we all knew how Biggie grew up. He grew up not the richest kid. He grew up with his mom and his sister, poor conditions. And this man from the street rose up. And what's really bothering me is these young kids today that get the golden spoon right in their hand, they just toss it. Like, Biggie died. Your dad died. And instead of you were mentioning, you know, honing and protecting the whole notorious B.I.G. thing like an egg, she could care less. She just took that egg and whoop.
Yeah.
She could care less. Because all for what? Because her baby father, who almost killed off a bunch of people, including a child, has to get out. Like, what? It bothers me, guys. It bothers me a lot. Like, I don't know what's going on with these young people. The man, your father was gunned down. And this is how you pay homage to the man that even gave you enough money to start your mash-up business in the first place. I don't know what she does, but apparently she has her own business.
She sells, well, she's making money off Notorious B.I.G. She sells merchandise.
That must be it. Because God knows
of her father.
So she was the same legacy that her dad left her. She pretty much sold it to get this mash-up man,
for this
her
man.
baby father, out of
Yes.
jail. Or to get a lawyer and all this. Okay. Well, you know.
This is my last thing. If you are a person who understands how big clearly Carson
Right.
this was a 2021 Durango. It is huge.
That's a big old
truck. And a tiny little baby in a stroller is what he just. Anywho, Robbie 3 times. It's time for your 3 minutes.
Yes.
I'd love to see what you want to say. And we're going to clearly start with the woman and her 30 foolishness, and give me a moment and go.
See, here, my problem with this is just the fact that she left her first husband. Like, so you really had zero faith in this man, that the reason he was asking you to do this for a reason. Something was going, I'm going to err on the side. There was something going on in the household finances, whether it was you was too frivolous with money, or whether he needed to tighten up the budget, or whatever it was. He said 70-30. You said, I can't do that, left him, left the state of the relationship, whatever it is, kids involved, who knows. Now you're working 2 jobs, and it sounds like you remarried. So you weren't cool with the dude who wanted to handle the bill 70-30, but you are cool with the dude that's got you working 2 jobs. Sometimes women's logic just don't logic.
It's not logicking.
And this is not logicking at all.
Yeah, this one is not logic. Again, sometimes I don't on as misogyny, but sometimes women's logic don't be logicking, because the only person I really have a problem with in this story is the wife, because she's putting the entire internet in a position of having to out her husband, and that's just not fair. Why we gotta tell her something that she should know? This dude obviously ain't that good at hiding it. He been tricking on his boyfriend for years. What are we talking about? I mean, I don't understand how she's still confused about what's going on. Like, so she was obviously reaching out for help.
And next, somebody who definitely needs some help.
She definitely.
Oh, Lord.
And not, okay, bro, whatever charges you was facing, they could not have been as significant as what you are now dealing with. And what a man would have done in that situation is been like, nah, babe, don't put your house up, because they got me. But he had to put that house up, which makes me think chances are he is about to do the race like TK. You know what I'm saying? You can cue up little TK song, man, like, yo, he about to run till they find his ass.
And we are done, because I agree. That man is gone.
Yep.
That man is leaving. Like, you put up a one put. He has no incentive to stay. But anyways, Carcia, talk to the people then, because we got so much more to go.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Thank you so much for joining us on Not Your Typical Girl Talk. We are on here chatting about the foolishness on the internet, and we try to make sense of the foolishness. So you can imagine how entertaining we are every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. live here on Instagram. But you can get a dose of us on Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, on internet radio, Radio Regent, syndicated through iHeartRadio. So check us out on there. We would love to have you. And let's get on with the show, because, yes, there's so much more.
Girl, for real. I am a proponent of Black men doing therapy. I'm a proponent of Black people doing therapy. We have all in some ways done our therapy, either by seeing someone or meditating or whatever we need to do to get ourselves in a space. I'm also for people seeing Black therapists, because only Black therapists, in my opinion, truly understand, or at least somebody of an ethnic region truly understands what we go through. However, this next therapist, I would not recommend anyone, much less a Black man, go to. And I am going to show you. I had to edit this video, and we apologize for those on the radio. Unfortunately, I could not edit the swear words that she says.
We apologize in advance.
We apologize in advance. And I'm going to first play her first video, and then I'm going to play her response video to the response that people had. And here we go. Is this your therapist? Is the segment.
I fucking love it here. First off, y'all bitches is smart. The comment says, I wish men would understand that emotional intelligence is so important because of how much clarity/security it will bring to your lives. Y'all think bitches just be talking in y'all ear just to be fucking talking. We don't. Y'all think bitches just want to argue with y'all because y'all refuse to expand your emotional vocabulary. We don't. It's to provide clarity for both us and y'all dusty bitch. Don't you want to be able to communicate with your bitch? I think yes, right? It used to be where men provided financially or with schmeat, and bitches can make their own self come, and we can pay for our own shit. So I'm gonna need y'all to catch up on the emotional part. A common misconception about me as a clinician is that 90% of my clientele have been men. Black men specifically. If y'all are not in therapy, expanding your emotional vocabulary, your life just off top is going to be more difficult. When you expand your emotional vocabulary, you understand how you can navigate in this bitch. This fucking weird ass world that is so hard on y'all, like let's acknowledge that the world is very difficult for y'all. When bitches are telling y'all to go to therapy, it's not for us, it's for y'all sad motherfuckers. Y'all told bitches to elevate our standards. And at the cost of us elevating y'all standards, y'all got axed because y'all didn't elevate either. Bitches are not tolerating emotional abuse, emotional neglect, Set it up. Go talk to somebody. Go expand your emotional vocabulary so your life can be better, bitch. All right. Go in peace.
Robert.
This is why the first thing I'll ask any therapist I've ever seen or ever will see is, do you have a therapist?
Thank you, Rob. You know what? Say that one more time, Rob, for the people that didn't get the first time, please.
Any therapist I've ever had or ever will see, the first question out my mouth to them is, do you have a therapist? I need to know you really believe in this stuff. Because
that whole part
obviously needs some help. She going through something, whether it's personal or professionally or whatever it is. You know what's crazy about Dummy though? Is that if she wouldn't refer to herself as a clinician, she probably wouldn't have got no smoke. If she would have just been another crazy broad
On TikTok
doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? But when you go out and say it, you know, never mind. It was another story I saw where it's just, yo, TikTok is getting a lot of women in trouble because guess what? Men are getting fed up and are starting to be like, yo, wait, because that was my reaction. It's like, and 90% of your clients are black men?
And you
should not be giving therapy to any black man if you can have the audacity to refer them as dusty bitches.
And this was her appeal for more black men to enter therapy. Like, this was her appeal. This was her saying, black men, you need to go to therapy. Like, this was what she felt was a way to bring the masses into therapy. With this, I've had a therapist. My therapist is calm. She speaks to me in a calm voice. She makes me feel centered. She tells me about her therapist. And you were so right. That was one thing my therapist made sure to tell me. I also see a therapist because she's got to unpack all of the emotional baggage she has from her clients. So every smart therapist has a therapist.
Thank you.
This girl, now let's hear her reaction. Because clearly this went viral. And let's be clear, I had to edit because she went on rant. So each of these videos have been edited. If you want to go, honestly, her name is Shabri Rose. Yeah. You see her house?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Look how she lived.
Yeah.
This is all her.
Yeah, she's kind of jumping. Like, things that mash up in the background.
This is whatever's going on here. Like, I saw this whole thing. It was like her life is disastrous.
It's in shambles.
Closed drawers.
But again, black women came to her. Black women were coming to her defense, like, yeah, make sure we protect this black woman at all costs because they were. I had to go on to the person who posted the response. I had to go on their page and be like, how about you post the original post? And let's be clear, every profession has a code of conduct.
Thank you.
Is this the woman who is representing the code of conduct of this profession? I think
in that outfit?
So instead of the whole protect black women bullcrap with this woman whose life is clearly in shambles. This is a woman's
outfit's all mashed up. She just rolled out of bed and this went off.
No, and it gets better. So let's hear her response to what has happened since she went viral on TikTok. Oh, please play. Okay. Oh. It's saying that the file is. You know what? I have the version. So I'm actually gonna play this. It's gonna have to be off my phone. I don't know why the file is corrupt, but I'm gonna play it off of my phone, and you will see. Go ahead.
This is just, this was traumatic for any black man that saw that. I can guarantee you that. Like, yo, she just went slap off. Like, what's going on with her? And it's so obvious. Like, yo, she went. And here's the thing, like. And most men, we understand that we could, you know, do a better job of, I would even dare to say what she said, expanding our emotional vocabulary, let's say.
I love it here.
Going about it's almost like, to me, it feels like the equivalent of me telling Sheba to grow bigger nuts. Like,
all of that is facts.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this one
the
here.
thing is,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the thing is, I'm very offended when Black women go off in a way that doesn't make any sense. For instance, what she is saying, like Rob said, she is saying things like the overall theme is correct. Black men need therapy. Men need therapy.
Humans need
Right?
therapy.
It is not a natural thing for men to be heavily emotionally intelligent. Like, that's just kind of a male trait. So, and not everyone's going to do therapy in the traditional sense, like going and sitting down or lying down on a couch and chatting with, a therapist. But my issue with her is that she's angry.
Girl?
She is angry. She is out here, and it's for me. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say I'm embarrassed as a professional Black woman. Girl, you went to school.
I want to know what school.
You have a BA in psychotherapy or something.
Psycho, the first part. There's a BA in that.
I'm done. And let's play her response. Let's go. Hold on, let me, hold on.
I think yes. Well, hello. It's your friendly neighborhood therapist who thought she could save these hoes, but got her job terminated as a result. Story time? I think yes. Shit you not, I posted a video on Monday telling men that their dusty behavior is only harming them and that they would benefit from emotional intelligence, and I shit you not, by Friday, didn't have employment. All of this started with a Psychology Today article stating that men are lonelier than ever because they have no fucking emotional skills. And I agreed and doubled down and told y'all that y'all lives would radically improve if you expanded the shit that came out your mouth. But instead of healing, y'all will do anything but that. Instead of being accountable like, hey, bitch, see me, assert a little bit, y'all got so hurt that you contacted NASA. That's exactly what happened. So first the post goes viral on Twitter, because y'all need fucking help. And y'all wanted to argue with bitches blue till they fucking blue in the face. Some of you hoes is not going to be saved. And that's the conclusion that I've come to. So because this shit's going viral, I'm thinking, okay, cool, we started a discussion on mental health, and people you might not like my fucking delivery, but motherfuckers is starting to talk, shaking the tables, I don't give a fuck. But then it turns into this entire crusade of attacking a Black woman who serves the fucking Black community. There were comments like, I'm gonna find her credentials and report her, because I told y'all to be better? Yeah, y'all are fucking weird. Y'all scream that y'all want to protect women, protect Black women specifically, but have done nothing to protect this Black woman who has been serving the communities. I have been violated in several areas, and I'm gonna outline each one. This article was written by a fucking Black woman, putting my full government and my place of employment. So being doxxed by a Black woman can't fake, it kind of fucking hurts, and she never once reached out to me or contacted me so I could spin my side of the story. This is the article that spooked my fucking job and got me fired. Not only did she not have any regard for my safety, many other articles have been written as a result. Here are a few of them, just to name a few. Black Twitter has words for therapists scolding men to go.
Here are a few of them, just to name a few.
All attacked me and got mad at me because I wanted better for y'all. That's the most crab in the barrel bucket type bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking life. A plethora of Black men decided to take it upon themselves to call my employment to get me fired. You succeeded in not the way that you think. If it's one thing about Black women is that we're incredibly resilient. This just cleared the table to give me space and opportunity to educate the masses while shaking our asses to healing because y'all got mad because I wanted you to do better. I was told they consulted with shareholders and decided to terminate my contract because I told y'all to go to therapy. That's the world we live in.
Where are her pants?
That whole part.
Like, she's always on the camera in the worst state. And her place is still in shambles. And as for her job, they should have just terminated her. She's bad business. Like, why is she still angry? You know what? This woman's a waste youth.
Do you realize that entire rant referred to men as men one time?
Yes. You guys were bitches. I think
Dusty
hoes.
Dusty Bottom, like all
That's all she said.
What y'all?
That's true.
But this is a woman who says that she's working in the community fighting for black men. That's basically what she's saying. And y'all were supposed to protect her, just so you
got
know.
here
fighting with the
black woman because Stevie Wonder could see that you need help. And you should not be speaking for the profession at all.
Zero. And here's my issue. Clearly she, as Jamaican, is not a autopsy because any parent would have told her, when you have decided to be in a certain profession, there is a code of conduct, let me repeat, that you must adhere to. She's 27 years old. She probably spent the last, she's only 27, spent the last few years in school, and this is how she's talking, what did she say? While we shake our asses and working for the masses while shaking our asses. What?
There's already a place for that.
It's called the strip club.
Yeah, there's already a place where they do that.
Strippers do that and get paid quite handsomely.
And they're way nicer than she is.
Thank you.
They're way nicer than she is.
Just to say,
yikes.
you know, I did go to her page and watch a few of her videos before this whole thing. Because I wanted to get an idea of her. I don't like to judge people just based on one.
No, this is an exception. You can judge her.
But no, I can tell you that you can, because I went ahead and looked at her TikTok. She was literally, I'm actually surprised she still had her job even after some of the videos I saw, where she would stretch out along the frame of her door and twerk. And yes, and slap her bum in little shots that barely cover her butt cheeks, slapping her ass, like, and acting like, honestly, I was just like, where is your father?
Oh, girl, there's no father. You know this.
Why are you doing this after 4, 6, 7, 8 years of education? Why are you like this? She should be the next, like, honestly, she should be like Michelle Obama.
Or like I
Oprah,
fix my life or something.
Or, yeah, she should be that type of person. Now, I know everyone needs to be who they need to be, and that's fine. But as Toshiba said, there's a code of conduct. You can still come and be like, you know, I'm from the street, and da-da-da-da. But why are you calling people that, and like, why are you on here shouting, calling every man the N-word, calling every woman bitches and hoes? Like, why are we?
She said, don't you want to communicate with your bitch? Don't you want what your bitch got to say? Ma'am, I don't
She sounds like a gangsta. I think gangsters are nicer than that. Like, where did this woman come from? Who raised this woman?
We don't go to therapy to be yelled at.
Thank you.
This girl is a trip.
I'll let you have the last word on this one.
Her and the girl from FAMU could start a school for angry black women, and that's how.
And with that, we will end this segment, and he will keep all of the rest for his 3 minutes, roughly 3 times, because we're going to show you someone who is shaking their asses, and they decided to shake their ass to me at the most inappropriate place. But girl, I guess do you? And I'm talking about Erica Banks, who was recently at here we go.
Oh, Erica. Oh, wow.
Hold on. Wow. I know you guys want to say, let me just go back so you guys are clear about where she's at. I want you to look at these children. You guys, these are high schoolers, right? Like, probably 9th or 10th graders. As a former, you were a young 9th grade boy.
I got a real question first.
Yes.
Who is Erica Banks?
Some entertainer. I don't actually know. I think she raps.
Mediocre music, I heard. It's very mediocre music she puts. I think she's a rapper. I don't know what she is.
This is gonna be her. So she's doing a Little Mama before she even got a hit. Okay.
Well, somebody decided to call the Breakfast Club and tell them exactly what she thought of Erica Banks, and here we go.
The Arista Bank is disgusting. A lot of women out here now are disgusting. And I think that most people don't even want to see that. They think that that's, they go along with it because of the status quo. Some women aren't even about that, or they still do it anyway just to fit in. We don't have to fit in, you know what I mean? Be unique. I'm so sick and tired of just a whole culture right now with the dumbed down music and then the women bending over, touching their toes when everybody's been trying to get away from that. Now, of course, in every, culture genre or whatever, we have certain people who are about that, but everybody's never about the same thing, and that's what makes it so sad.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know what the lines are anymore, Queen. Maybe I'm desensitized to it just because we see this stuff all of the time. I personally don't have a problem with it just because I also know that these kids are doing that. These same kids that she was doing that for, they doing that all over social media.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And these kids are what age? 17?
Well, I don't know. They're in high school, so they could be younger than that.
How old is she?
15, 18?
You're lucky Glorilla wasn't there. The teachers and everybody would have been wild.
Yeah,
That's a double.
Here is my problem with what.
Isn't it justify it?
Thank you. Here's my problem with what Charlamagne likes to say. This idea that every 14, 15, 16, or 17-year-old boy is out there watching porn and is out there banging little girls. If you are raised well, you're not doing that. So stop trying to act as if every young black, and again, it was a room full of black boys. So I'm assuming this is a school with predominantly black kids. So now you, a man who's supposed to be for the culture, is going up there saying, well, they're doing it anyways. So who cares if this 23-year-old grown woman is out there shaking her ass in front of them? I do not send my son to school so he can be entertained like he's at a strip club.
No.
Sorry.
First of all, I feel that we have a problem in Black culture where we truly normalize. We normalize a lot of things that should not be normalized. Now, this is a high school pep rally. I'm not saying that she couldn't go over there and dance and have fun with the kids.
Jump and high five.
Yeah,
and
high
stuff
five.
like that, you know.
Why did you have to bend over and give them
like a whole bucket?
He walked over to them front ways and then bent around back way and then started doing it.
Why?
Specifically to them. Yeah, go ahead, Robbie, 3 times. You were a 14-year-old boy.
She was performing in slides. I think y'all expecting too much of her. Just saying. Yeah, on the ratchet outfit. Like, what you mean? Anytime you start dancing, the first thing you have to do is grab your boobs so they don't pop out. Like, you just told on yourself.
Well, there we have it.
I will say what the young lady who called in said was correct. And Rob has said it before. All of these female rappers these days are doing the same thing. There's no Raw Diggers or Charlie Baltimore's or even, Remy Ma's still in the game, but again, she started the game years ago. You know, Lil' Kim from our culture, who was the one who was really doing the sex thing. Foxy Brown was kind of doing, but not. Queen Latifah definitely wasn't doing it. We had the lights, but all now, you name them, Cardi, Meg, this girl, the Big Lotto, whatever it is, Lottos, all of them.
All of them.
The same Sukiana. It's the same thing.
What they call the strip.
You can close your eyes for 10 minutes and open them back up, and they switch, and you feel like, oh, I'm in the same place. It's the same performance over and over and over and over and over again. Jesus God, y'all gotta do that. I'm turning around because these I just named all of.
Agreed.
Y'all gotta do better than that. Like,
agreed.
Yeah, and
yeah,
we have to stop this idea that sexualizing or normalizing the sexualization of young kids is normal and okay.
It's not
okay.
Because it's not.
So who cares if I sent my little boy to school to be educated, but instead he had some grown 23-year-old woman. I don't care if they're 15 and she's 23. That's an 8-year age gap. I don't want no woman turning her box-sider over to be shaking it in my son's face when I sent him to school. That is the same way y'all didn't want R. Kelly picking up the 15-year-old girls at the McDonald's when they were going out. Is the same way, because R. Kelly was once in his 20s picking up 15-year-old girls. Everybody's talking about that, but it's okay for her to do it to boys? No. Sorry,
Absolutely
I'm very
not.
angry.
Yeah, I
You have
mean,
a son.
absolutely
Like,
not.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just irritated.
High school is
Absolutely
not
not.
the place for that.
No, this is not a strip club. It's an institute to
Right.
learn.
When they're old enough,
When they're old enough, they can make their own
with
choices.
their own money, they can go to a strip club and get a show.
This is like
23-year-old
higher
girl
learning.
too. Like, don't you have any like brain cells of yourself? Like, you're 23. Why are you bending over in front of
She
children?
has.
She's a weirdo.
I mean,
Ew.
you know, maybe it's the American in me, and I'm not justifying any of this, but the fact that she was even at the school performing suggests that this is not an institution of higher learning. But
Also that.
I'm just saying.
True, it is very weird. It's
I-
a high school rally, and they got
Normalize ratchet.
Who half of them went
I definitely how she went over to them and started twerking. That was just like a little extra with it.
They probably didn't know who she was either.
Uh,
Like, who's Erica?
They probably didn't. And I do remember them getting on Robin Thicke when he was up there at some kids awards show, grinding and pop locking and stuff, and just like, yeah, you got it. Just keep in mind your audience, and even if she would have been in like the center of the court doing that, it wouldn't have been as
bad as walking
Yeah.
over
Bad, yeah.
people's picnic.
really just putting it in people's face. But like I said, she had on slides. She ain't come there for.
Okay, well,
She
Well,
came to get ratchet.
listen, sticking on the line of ratchet American life, in this segment, this is called Whose Pastor Is This? Because apparently, not only do you go to school and people can do what they want, you can also go to church and hear the word of the Lord.
Shonda.
And this is what your pastor is going to tell you. Let's go.
That is irresistible to him. My God. And when that heifer comes around, everything is turning. All the men in the house are scared right now. And all the wives are looking around. Want to find out who's the heifer with the scent. It ought to be you. Y'all ain't hear what I'm saying. You ought to get bad enough, glory to God, to excrete an odor, an aroma, and a scent that keeps your nigga's nose wide open. Y'all ain't, I didn't get no amen out of here. To keep his nose wide open. And if you can't do it, find out who got his nose wide open and study her. And after you learn what she learned, kill her so you can take the position back in your own life. I can't get no help in here. Some of you was going to join, so I ain't joining that crazy church. You better.
So it says, Pastor says your man shouldn't be distracted by another woman. Whatever she's doing, you need to do better.
That's what it said.
Apparently.
He's calling the people nigga.
and then
And
she
And this
the
heifer.
other lady.
what kind of pastor is
Kill that
this?
heifer. He said.
Kill her. Find out what she's doing and kill her. This.
I'm nothing.
Where is this?
I don't know.
You
Where
know
is
what?
That's a religious.
He got his certification online.
I think he definitely.
What did he use to back this up?
Listen, I'm thinking this was a preacher who definitely. Now, how you guys, either one of you can get ordained and marry us. So I think he got ordained online in a 24-hour course and started a church because this is not a. That's not a. He got ordained online. I got some money. I'm gonna open a church. I'm gonna put up a following. This is not a man who actually went to school and studied the Bible. Because what scripture? In what scripture is?
I don't know.
Go get it. Find out what the woman's sense is.
What version of the Bible? What version of the Bible is that? Where is that? New Testament, Old Testament?
Yeah,
In the middle? Was this before Christ or after? Like, what is that?
Is he
What,
talking
was
about
from one of the apostles?
No, a woman's
Is it a
natural,
minor
a woman's natural odor. You're supposed to feel, because again, vabbing, right? Because that
Vabbing.
heard about vabbing, and he wants to let them know about that heifer who got your man stuck. So you better find out what that heifer
He
is
called
doing.
them heifers.
Yes, and
Okay.
niggas. Yeah,
And niggas.
these are your people.
I just want
These are all your people.
This
I
pastor
I
is
mean,
demon
I don't
possessed.
know
he
what's
can be a
going on.
pastor, I really need P.D. Pablo to become a pastor because I'll go to
By yourself.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I don't know what's going on in the world of ministry, but I do notice there's this thing now where ministers are likening themselves as to gangstas and I'm just like, no, sir, no.
And that's how kept this world is, man. The church is following the world, man. Like that's
right?
what the whole situation is.
Pastors are trying to go viral.
Pastors are trying to go viral.
Not preaching the word of the Lord.
Weird.
How to get you viral right there.
And he did go viral.
How to get you viral.
He said, you want to keep your nigga
on the pulpit in the house of the Lord. He went there.
Imagine if you were visiting that church for the first time
and
you bought your friend.
Laughing
And you bought your friend, and this is
that's the sermon that he brings before you, and your sinner friend. And they're like, what kind of church is this, yo? I'm sorry, if I were there, I'd bust out laughing. I'd laugh so hard out loud. I wouldn't even care. I would laugh so hard because this is comedy. This man is trying real hard. He must have maybe, I don't know, maybe he saw the lifestyle of Bishop Lightfoot and how he had all that jewelry under his robe. And maybe he's like, well, I want that lifestyle too. So let me just get a little gangsta up on this pulpit. Let's go, gangsta Jesus. And he just went off on this new age.
No.
I don't know if this is like a new thing for pastors now. Like, who's next?
These American pastors are different. That's all I'm going to say. But Robbie 3 times, we got to hear what he's got to say about all this stuff. Because we just went through a whole heap of mess.
There was so much in this last half.
Thank you. We're going to start with the homegirl who wants black men to go to therapy. Hold on. So I got my 3 minutes. I hate that. Let's go.
Nah, I ain't really messing with her. I'm gonna tell jokes, and she probably drove more black men away from therapy than anything. And I'm like, she needs therapy. She need to clean up her room like grown-ups do, and figure out what she's gonna do next. Like I said, reach out to the girl from FAMU. Y'all can start the accredited university of angry black women, angry black professionals. Let's call it that. If they want to be non-gender specific and. Yeah, keep it moving. She's wet.
Well, the girl you don't even know who she is.
Oh, yeah, she whack too. Like, again, you trying to keep your boobies from popping out. You got on slides. You're performing at a high school. Like, and you probably damaged your career with a high school performance. Like, how do you do that? But anyhow, them kids definitely know who she is now.
I think they know because your backside is facing them.
And it's just, it's corny considering the audience, you know what I mean? That's more, like you said, strip club type of behavior, but next story.
And on to our pastor. He said, I need to keep you by having that sense.
This pastor right here, again. We got the therapy damaging therapist, and we got the church damaging pastor. There's a lot of them. That's unfortunately a part of the issue. You know, church should not be doing what the world doing. They're supposed to be doing what church doing. That's why so many people disenchanted with church. You know, like straight up and down. That's how I see it. It's like I said. That's how just the news don't news. The church don't church. Like I'm. When the fire department just gonna quit, like I mean, it's just not working. The mail just mailman gonna stop mailing, and it's just crazy out here, you know. And it's really wild that people can't even recognize that like this is not what it should be. Like I'm joking, but I mess with that church stuff because I'm thinking they got like a bar and a concession stand. Like I would have been ready for some popcorn and a cocktail. Like, yo, this is getting good. Like for real.
Just like that.
I ain't heard a single scripture, but this brother entertaining for sure. You know what I mean? And that's a part of the problem. Church is not supposed to be entertaining. You're supposed to go there to learn. But you know, again, the teachers is bringing in Erica, whatever her name is, to
She's part of the praise team.
teaching. Ain't nobody doing what they supposed to be doing, man.
And with that, we are done because Rob would be at that church by himself. I would be in the car, okay, or I would take an Uber home because it ain't for me.
Having Long Island iced tea.
And with that, tell me after she laughs, it's going to kick us out.
Wow. Well, there you have it once again. Thank you all so much for joining us on another wonderful episode of Not Your Typical Girl Talk, as we're trying to make sense of the foolishness on these internets. Tonight was, wow, so much foolishness. But we hope you found it entertaining, because we sure as hell did. Thank you so much for watching. Join us here every Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go live every Wednesday. Join us, come on in, ask or request to go live with us. We'd love to hear your opinions and the stories we talk about. And if you have an idea, if you've heard any little tidbits, go ahead and DM us. We'd love to hear what you got. Maybe some juicy things about, I don't know, Kelly Rowland or something. We're always open, right? We're always open, so do send us a DM. And we want to give a huge thank you to Radio Regent. That's right, you can listen to this episode and all of our episodes that gets uploaded every Saturday at 7 p.m. through iHeartRadio. So once again, you're going to go on iHeartRadio, you're going to type in Radio Regent, you can look for Not Your Typical Girl Talk and click, and you can listen to all of our thousands upon thousands of award-winning content. Yes, y'all, award-winning. You don't need to know which awards we won. There's so many awards. It would take us all night to go through. I'm talking, we got awards from America, Canada, Japan, Venezuela. You have no idea how many awards we've won. So we're just gonna keep it that. So listen, yo, we gotta go. We have to go because even right now we have to go because we're getting nominated right now. So we're gonna wrap this up. Find us on YouTube. Find us on the Facebook under the name Not Your Typical Girl Talk. Till next time, everybody. Take care. Have an awesome rest of your week. We got Persia and Telly. We got Queen Sheba. We got Robbie. Not one, not two, but three.